Hi guys. Oh my gosh. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this live. I'm really excited. I'm waiting for Manon, a beautiful author, to join me in a few moments. We're starting a little live exchange between two authors and getting to know each other, getting to share our books, and just have a little bit of a conversation. I'm really excited. Hey guys. Hey Mr. Bellissimo. Hey Mr. Rick Gomez. Hey everybody. We're going to start in about 2 minutes. It's so great to see you. I'm a recent cancer survivor and I wrote a book, and it's so beautiful to be able to engage and connect with fellow authors and people who have a story too, who doesn't have a story of some kind of challenge. And it doesn't matter. Cancer could be a loss of job, a loss of a loved one. The feeling is always sort of the, how do I say, the balancing point, which is the challenge, and that the heart feels pained. And so whatever you title your challenge, a challenge is a challenge, and we can all share in solidarity that it takes a mindset and a certain sense of tenacity and heart to get through it. But anyway, if this ramble is making any sense, I am just waiting for Mano. Hey, vula vula. Happy Monday, guys. I celebrated my birthday yesterday. Hello, Sagittarius season, and I'm really happy to be alive. I love you. Look who's the queen. Good morning. I love you. Vula vula. And I celebrated my birthday, and every birthday is pretty special. It's a new year of sorts. But this one is a little extra for me because I'm a year and 3 months now in remission, and I can't believe I went through cancer. It's really, really strange. Hi, Harriet. How are you? Another fellow author joining here. And you know what? If you can't stay the whole time, it's okay, because I'm going to post this on the page anyway. Let's see. Waiting for my friend here. I'm going to add her. Where's Manon? You're going to love her. She has quite a story of her own. To brain cancer when she was very young, and she wrote an incredible book. And hi, Harriet. Hey!
Hi!
I'm chatting with the people tuning in, a few fellow authors as well. I was just chatting about this incredible woman and how you have these incredible books, and now we're just getting to chat and meet and share with our friends here.
Why, thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure, and it's so exciting to finally, meet you here.
Good people. I mean, I'm trying to even remember how, in this world, when you write a book and you share your story, the blessing behind a challenge and heartache and illness and death is the people you connect with along the way. And so connecting with you, I mean, you have a couple of powerful books. You've lived quite the life as well. You've been touched with cancer as well, right? And I'm just happy for people to get to know you. I mean, welcome everybody. And
Thank you. I was actually just talking about that with someone else too. I think that's the greatest blessing when you go out there and share your story, and it's an incredibly vulnerable thing to do. And it's such a lonely thing too, but then your story's out there and people are connecting with it, and then they're telling you their stories, and that's just such a powerful thing to me.
You're such a beautiful person. You just resonate so much. You're so gorgeous inside and out, and it's an honor that you would make time. I know you're a busy person, and it's sometimes you meet
You're
people.
too nice to me.
And when you meet a lot of people, it's like you become more discerning of your time as well. Like, who am I going to talk to? Where's my story going to land? So I'm so happy. Please introduce your full name and your books to the audience.
Well, thank you. I mean, my name, I go by Manon Rinsma, which is my maiden name. My married name, Manon Rinsma Leonard. So if you want the full name, that would be it. But
I love your name, Manon. It sounds French.
yes, the name is French, but I'm from the Netherlands. But I was named after Manon de Source. It's a beautiful French book,
Oh.
story about a lot of feelings, revenge, love, all the things.
Cool. And you wrote, I mean, gosh, I mean, I'll let you introduce, but you have two powerful works and available now. You have your books. Oh my God, beautiful. 13 Diamonds, I believe. Were
Yeah,
you
so yeah,
diamond?
the first one was 13 Diamonds, Life Before Death from a Child's Perspective, which is it's something I actually started writing the day my mom passed from brain cancer when I was 12 years old. And I started writing it when she was still alive. I was only 12 years old, but I really wanted to share the cancer journey from a child's perspective then. And see if I can get through this.
Oh,
I started type. This is 2005. It's been almost 21 years now, and I was in Paint, on the computer, if anybody remembers Paint. But I created the cover. The cover. I always start with the covers, which is
me
a silly
too.
a silly thing I do. You do
Me
too.
too,
Great.
Manon. Anyways,
I need to see what it's gonna be somehow before I can write the story.
yes, it's
I
the
started
title
with the
of the
cover.
cover, and
You
then
did?
it's permission to dive in. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then it looks at you, but it's like something tangible, It's just like, okay, this is happening. It's like my constant reminder that I gotta put the words on paper. It took me a long time, but I sat down behind my computer and I typed a life without a mother. How would that be? Yeah, and that was all I typed. And then I heard my oldest brother call for my dad, and within an hour she passed away.
Oh, it's so intuitive. I don't even understand that kind of loss for a young girl. I can't even. How do you drop into understanding such a deep well of pain?
There
You,
were no words at the time. It took me a very long time to write. The 10 years after were very turbulent for me. I didn't have much space to grieve, which is a very different story. But when it finally did catch up with me, it took me half my life to get 13 Diamonds on paper. In 2018, it really dawned on me like, oh my gosh, I've been, half my life with my mom and half my life without her. And
ah,
that's that I finally shared that first memoir from a child's perspective. It really tried to channel that, I the experience that now, not how I was looking back at it, but that child pain was still very much a part of me.
wow. Can I ask you what inspired you for the title, 13 Diamonds?
I was almost 13 when she passed, and there was this thing my mom and I, mothers and daughters. I think it's a very special bond. I'm blessed with it now with a daughter of my own. She's 2.5,
Mm.
but there's this thing, you have 11, 12, and then there's 13, and that's when you really become a teenager. So my mom was always, and teenager, there's a different word in it in Dutch, but she would use the English word teenager, and she would say it like, oh, when you're 13, you're going to be a
Oh,
teenager. We're going to have all these fun things. So then when she passed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, almost about 3 months before I turned 13, my dad helped me kind of memorialize that moment, and she still had some savings in her personal account, and my dad helped me go to a jeweler, and we had a ring made, and with 13 diamonds set in it, and her and my name engraved.
oh, that is so beautiful. You,
Yeah.
you know, like I got to know a little bit about your book and you, but there's nothing like really getting to know and being like, holy cow, that's the essence, you know?
Yeah, I
That
know, because everybody's like, I mean, it's not about 13 diamonds, but it's kind of like, the first 13 years of life in a way. It's symbolic. My now husband actually helped me come up with that name at the time. And yeah, and then the subtitle is Life Before Death from a Child's Perspective.
wow,
Um,
powerful. And if you were to say this, maybe this is a hard question, no, but if you were to say to someone who's going through grief right now and really, really hard loss, as you've
yeah.
experienced, what would be the one thing that got you through that you could share with people? What if you could sense or remember, recall that one thing, maybe, or two things? What helped you through that?
I think finally facing it.
Mm,
Don't push it away. And I think even in your journey that was true to, you know, not just try to shove it under the rug and feel all those feelings.
Mm.
and then spin it into something better for you, spin it into strength or love, inspiration, you know.
I feel you. Oh my gosh, when I was, and thank you for that. When I was going through my cancer journey, and we chat a little bit, before, I never intended to write, and I was just downloaded, arguing with the divine, and the title came to me, and I thought, okay, I'm writing a book. There's the cover and there's the title, boom. But I
And such a
remember,
great book. I just finished your book a couple of days ago. I told you it's poetry to me.
thank you
It's
so. It's
beautiful.
an honor from an author, from a real author, the tender age of 12, 13. My book is here for the people at home as well. We'll shine our books. But one thing I told my oncologist was, if I can't make sense of this nonsense that is cancer, I said, just give me a bullet and a gun. I know that sounds a little dire, but really, we
Yeah.
have to make sense of sometimes the absurdity of life and the nonsense that doesn't
Otherwise you'll
make sense,
drown.
right?
Yeah.
And so we spin it, and the writing was cathartic. The writing was speaking to light, love, God. It was words sent to the ether to help me through the darkest times and make me feel less insane through it all, And so I'm sure you can speak for yourself, but for me, I look back and I thank universe. I'm not afraid to say, I thank God for cancer. It was the most incredible teacher of resilience, fear, grief, the dark, that you said one of the have to face it. And so I don't know if maybe it's a hard thing, losing somebody is never a gift, that is something.
But I do hear you on that, and it is. I don't even want to call it bittersweet because that's not the right word at all. Because losing my mom was is the most profound thing that happened to me in my lifetime. It's such a miss, and like I said, even becoming a mother myself 2.5 years ago, that really it keeps hitting. Every time there's something big in your life, it keeps hitting. But when I look back and the journey I took after, which I'll touch on too, the second book, if I hadn't lost my mom, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Mm.
And that's sometimes I'm like, I feel some shame saying that because obviously if I had the choice, I would have had her right next to me. She'd be babysitting my my sweet Olivia every week. Not too often because
Boundary.
probably be on the phone every day. And I wish she would have been there for all those big moments in my life. But would I have moved across the globe? Would I be in California right now? Would I have met my husband in LA? Would I have traveled the world, um, so far and wide? Would I have pushed myself that much, pushed my boundaries so much? Probably not, because I grew up in a very safe place when my mom was still alive.
Wow. Your mom, through her journey and her legacy, moved you out of comfort into a place of
Pushed
shining.
me out of comfort.
Yeah, she brought you out of comfort to shine as
Yeah,
you are. Your
yeah.
perspective is so powerful, and
I
um,
always say I grew up overnight when she passed.
oh my gosh, Manon, your story. Can you show the people at home your book cover again? Because you had two in your hand. Can
Yes,
you show
yes. So there's
the one that we talked about is right
13
there.
Diamonds, which is actually the cover. This one was inspired. There's a painting I now have here in California, but it used to hang at my family's home in the south of France. And it was of a mother and daughter looking out over the ocean wearing like those cute hats. And it was such a profound thing of like my mom and me that this is taken in Malibu. When I first moved to California, I was kind of like recreating that painting that meant so much to me. Yeah, there's meaning in every little thing. But yeah, so that's 13 Diamonds, and then there's A Far Cry from Yesterday.
Tell me,
And
one, is this the newest one, the kind of the newest debut, a
yep, so
follow-up?
this one came out this year.
That,
Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It's one thing to share, the stories of my family's love and cancer, but this one is kind of my odyssey.
it's thicker too. Does it look
It's yeah, look, I had a lot of words. It's funny. fun fact, it was 150 pages longer before I worked with my editor on it. There's a lot of rambling that maybe shouldn't have been part of this one. But I just had to put it all on paper. But yeah, so this one is called A Far Cry from Yesterday, Finding Tomorrow in Distant Lands. And it takes place 10 years after I lost my mom. So this was 2015 when I left on my grand journey around the globe. And this is me in Siberia. At Lake Baikal. I was very cold. I'm pretty sure my eyeballs were frozen when I took this selfie.
You look good. I love it.
I didn't see the actual photo until much later when I was warmed up again, defrosted.
Wow.
But yeah, like I said, I had a very turbulent 10 years after I lost my mom. And in 2015, I was finishing up my master's in Amsterdam. Don't even like to mention it, but my long-term boyfriend at the time cheated on me, so I kicked him to the curb. And it was a big ending still, it's a big ending. And then because of my master's was ending, my student housing was ending as well. So I was like, okay, if I lose all these, pillars that are part of my life right now, what's next? And I had some money saved. I worked 3 jobs all throughout college. And to be, have a good start at life after. And then I was like, what am I going to do? I'm just, I called my dad, and it was my birthday. And I was looking at myself in the mirror while I called my dad. I was like, I can do this. And he was like, happy birthday, daughter. What do you want to do for your birthday? Or what do you want? And I said, I want a backpack. I just want to go see the world. And he was like, all right. He got in a car. He drove to Amsterdam. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from my hometown. And we went to this backpacker store, like outdoorsy stuff I knew nothing about at the time. And I picked a beautiful red backpack. And I started planning my journey.
This is amazing. You're the journeying lady from both an emotional sense of, standpoint, but also then taking it into a physical embodiment of how am I going to, transform. And do you still have the backpack?
I still have the backpack. I still have the shoes, the red Nikes I mentioned many times. There's a hole in one now, so I no longer can wear them, but I still look for a replacement pair. If Nike hears this, I'm still looking to replace my pair of shoes.
I'm a Nike girl too. We met for a reason. We have a few
amazing.
So Nike. Maybe they support your next travel, your next journey, backpacking with your daughter. Who knows?
I'm always open to collaboration.
What a story. And the fact that your dad was just so, okay, let's do this, Question, what was the first place you landed when you decided, like, did you have a plan already?
You'd like this. That would be Los Angeles.
Oh, gosh, what a great, it's my favorite place ever.
It's a funny story. One of my best friends, she's very into studying Chinese, and she was going to go back to Shanghai for a while to learn more. And after that, I was telling her, and she had done the Trans-Siberian train. And I was telling her, I was like, I'm going to go see the world, tell me what am I going to do? And she's like, well, I'm planning to go back to China. Why don't you take me there? I was like, when are you going? And she said November. And this must have been, maybe it was May of that year or something. I was like, oh, I'm not going to wait till November. Yes. But how about I go fly to the left from here, so I'm going to go fly to LA, and I'm going to do North America. And then I'll come back. My graduation for my master's was in October, and then I'll pick you up, and then we'll go east from there. And that's exactly how it happened. I landed in LA. I took a Greyhound across the country, so that was my transportation. I made it all the way to New York by way of Canada.
Wow, I'm Canadian. Hello, Canada. You made it.
Hello, Canada. Oh my gosh, I love Canada. It's like it's beautiful. It's especially in October with the fall leaves. Pink fall leaves are a big topic in the first part of that book. But Yeah, I mean, it was like LA, Vegas, Albuquerque. I have some friends in Indiana, some very dear friends in Indiana that I got to visit. And then I kind of worked my way up to Canada and then back down to New York. And then I went back home and did my graduation. And I couldn't rob my dad from seeing me graduate my master's degree.
Yes.
I had to come back for that.
Oh.
And then I took the Trans-Siberian train with my friend, Moscow to Beijing. Well, it was the Trans-Siberian, then the Trans-Mongolian. I didn't go all the way to Vladivostok. It was getting very cold. But then Mongolia was very special, and then I dropped her off in Shanghai. And then I know we're not even done. Then my cousin was going through a lot, and I was like, why don't you join me? So she flew out to China, and then I took her down to or together we went to New Zealand and Australia. And then after that we ended up in Thailand, and
Oh my
then
gosh. This is like the most epic travel. Like this is
it
wow.
was, sometimes I would just, I don't know if it's still a function. I haven't been as spontaneous lately, but there was this website, and I would just click like, this is where I am. This is the nearest airport. Take me, and then the option was anywhere. And then I would just look at, the cheapest tickets. Like I was on a very, very low budget
Oh,
this entire time.
I'm blown away by your journey and your fearlessness to travel the world this way, you know, it and to trust life, to be like, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't have to control everything. I can flow with things and let that reveal itself.
Yes. But I will say it's not, because it's funny, it was perceived. I was having a great time, but I was also having a very difficult time. I think traveling like that, it's not a vacation.
Mm.
It's a marathon, a very, very long marathon.
Ah,
And I know I'm very privileged. I'm very blessed that I was able to do this. I'm very privileged that I felt like I had nothing to lose, that I could just leap in the deep end and just kind of free fall for a while. That's a very fortunate thing to be able to do. But it led me so many places. It led me back to Europe a couple of times in that journey, and then I was like, nope, I'm still not there. And then I would, where am I going next? And
mm,
it wasn't until a road trip in Central Asia at the very, very back end of that year that I was driving the Pamir Highway all the way from Kyrgyzstan to Tajikistan to the border with Afghanistan. And
mm,
that's when I really felt like, okay, now I'm really pushing myself. Now I'm really looking at myself
mm,
and finding my way. It's almost like I had to really scare myself to
mm.
unlock the darkest of emotions that were still very much trapped inside of me.
Your openness to that discovery on a physical level, but also just allow yourself with, gosh, I was talking with a good friend of mine, Amy, about grace, to go through it with grace as well.
But that's
Is
rough.
courageous, you know, and sometimes we have a choice, other times we don't. But when we choose to just go forward and somehow trust, it's a huge transformative thing that can happen to us when we least expect it. And it's so interesting that that happened sort of towards the tail end of this huge journey of covering so many incredible countries and taking pieces with you along the way and maybe leaving pieces with you behind, you know.
Definitely left some pieces of me behind,
Oh gosh,
which
this
is important too.
important too. And you know, I don't even know where to even go with that. I'm still traveling with you on your story, but I don't know about you, but I look back now, Manon, and I'm like, I just celebrated a birthday, and I think I'm a year and 3 months into remission. 2024 was my cancer year, and I think, what, that happened? It's like a blip, the way life is. I don't know if for you in the travels and the vastness of those years, if you look back and now when you say, wow, that feels like a moment's blip. But I look back going, what? And I sometimes remind myself, when I get moments of fear, we all get that shit, you know, I hate to use the word, but the thing that tries to creep up, and I smack my hand down and I say, wow, I beat cancer. It reminds me of the darkness that I walked through, and then I come back.
You have to say that loud because that
Yeah,
is incredibly inspiring.
yes, and it helps to get out of your
Yeah.
mind and go, right. You have to remember how far you've come to trust how far you can go. And
I
so,
love that you wrote in your book, sorry to interrupt you, but
yes,
it's
Rob,
you said, what am I afraid of after this?
yes. What
Right?
am I afraid of after
What
this?
am I afraid of after this? And I very much felt the same way, and I won't compare my
No,
journey of healing with something as courageous as you did, but it's just like if you have faced fear, like dead in the eye,
yes.
then what am I afraid of after this?
What am I afraid of? And listen, and it's not to compare, but to compare. I have a friend of mine that says the line, same, but different. You know, so my gosh, I can't imagine the loss of my mom. To me, that's, I'll take cancer. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
our forms of grief, they meet each other
yeah.
because we know what it's like to feel the foibles of pain and to transform it through creation. So, you know,
I mean, I'm sure you're still grieving parts of yourself or parts of that journey as well. I think that's also grief.
yeah, yeah, of course, and the leaving behind, and looking at, sometimes I look at the cover and I go, wow, look at you.
Look at you.
And I will say, I love you. You went through that. Look at me now. We start seeing each other when you. I'm sure when you look back at the little girl, or you know,
Yeah.
you get moments. You go, wow, you sweetheart. I hold you now. I hold you now.
Hold you now. Well, and it wasn't until I wrote this book during this journey. It was like finally unlocking, like the words were finally coming to me, and an interesting switch to me was that all the other iterations of that first story were in Dutch, and then during my journey around the globe I started writing in English, and somehow that gave me the words that fit, which was very strange to me because I didn't grow up speaking English at all, but somehow it just felt like I could open up those chambers in my heart better, and maybe it was a layer of protection. When I
Oh,
said it in Dutch, it was too vulnerable. I don't know.
wow. And I would never know that English is not your first language. Your eloquence, the way you speak. Your journey is so inspiring, Manon, and I feel really blessed to say I know you. And
Right.
you are so incredible. And the way that you've reimagined your life. I think this is an inspiration and why we have these conversations, and it's important because whoever's tuning in or going to watch later this video, for me, I just want people to know that you're not alone through that fear and the dark pockets of
Yeah.
pain. It can get really dicey where it's like, wow, that's, you know, if I how do I say this? I said this to my doctor as well. I said, you can take my hand, you can take my foot, but please keep my mind. If our mind and our emotional state is not in a place that it needs to be, boy, is that alley very dark and scary. So if we can offer hope through our shared experiences, we make the world a little bit brighter. And I just wanted people to know, at least through my experience in my book, that are coming behind me on this cancer journey, that you're not alone. If I can do it, you can. And just to keep leaning on love and light, and to keep writing and praying into the ether. It's a huge component to survival, you
I
know?
always say, if you do feel lonely, let us be alone together.
Ah, I love that. Can you say it again, please?
If you do feel lonely, let us be alone together.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know if if this is in your book, this sentence, or if it
It
can.
is. It is in the first one, certainly. I don't know if I put it in the second one.
Oh,
The second one was more about find your glimmer or glow, like follow your light and try to reignite it in a way when darkness has suppressed it for too long.
so beautiful. That's, I don't know if you're creating t-shirts or if or any. I want to
Maybe I should start.
hello, that was T-shirt. I love it.
I know I'm working on special edition hardcovers that I really want to be like a work of art. So maybe I'll do something with
Yes.
those quotes on those.
Well, Manon, it's been a joy and honor to connect with you here. And, before signing off, and, I'm going to be sharing these clips, of course, and keep this conversation going. Where can people specifically find your book? Where can they go for your books?
Amazon.
You books. I love Amazon.
Amazon would be the go-to at this time.
Ah, and me too. It's available everywhere. You can go on eBay. There's
Oh
Barnes.
yeah.
Well, there's all, but I was just, Amazon's very easy. It's in Kindle as well. Can we shine our books together?
Yes.
This is us. Oh
Look at us.
my gosh, grab our books. You know what I love about books is that they're timeless in terms of gifts. I love gifting books and journals.
Yes.
It's timeless. So people at home, if you're watching and you need to give somebody a dose of inspiration, put this under the tree or in the stocking or at the Thanksgiving table. Books are
Yeah.
powerful. Our words are powerful. Whether they're ours or somebody else's, words are really the saving grace for humanity. They really bring us back to love, and that to me is the ultimate force out there. Thank
And
you.
I will also say that if there's other people that I've been donating, especially 13 Diamonds, a lot to hospitals or grief organizations and anything like that. So I'm always happy to donate some copies if it helps another family navigate through that phase in their lives.
You're so beautiful. Thank you for your time, Manon.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandy. It's such a pleasure. And oh my gosh, I know we will talk, but you're so inspiring. And thank you for putting your rambles, your words, your poetry on pages for anybody to read who's going through that, because we all know that people need to be able to read that more.
Thank you, Manon. I mean it from my heart. Thank you so much. Love you all who tuned in or who's gonna watch. Just know you're loved, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
We'll talk soon.
Bye, Manon. Ciao.